Hi, welcome to this module. This is one of our modules that's showing how to build a small retainer wall. And this is just a real, a small retainer wall we did. I have it on video here. I want to show you, we put rebar in. I'm going to kind of walk you through it, then I'll take you right over to it. You can go right into it and watch us and just kind of give you a real a perspective on how this thing is put together. And remember, we put the wall builder in first, and we put the wall builder 1-to-1, so 1 gallon per 1 yard. Here it's a 6 yards, I think. We have 2 small walls. We're doing a pond. We're not going to show the pond really. We're going to show just the walls that we're making. We're going to show how we put the walls together, how we square them off, how we carve into them, texture them, finish them, and then we color them. So let's show how we do that, and I'll explain. So I'm going to show a little bit of this, explaining how we do what we do, and I'll click on that there. There we go. So as we do here, we're putting a lot of places say you can't put the rebar in the ground because it's oxidized, like California, places like that. But here it's not bad. Same out here in New Hampshire. Most states, no problem. So I put the rebar in the ground, set it in there, and then we'll put my vertical first, and then I'm gonna put my horizontal rebar around like that. And I want to put my vertical rebar just under the height. So if I have a height of 2 feet that I'm going to do, I want that thing, 4 inches under. I still have my rebar, and I'm not really worried about at that height. I'm not worried about the vertical strength. I'm looking at the flexural strength of the distance or the lateral line, and that's what. There's the truck. It just got there, and as the truck gets there, it's could be dry. Like, always check the truck before you put your wall builder in there. So before you put the wall builder, go up there, have them bring it up, and then have them look inside there and see what it does. And of course the rebar, they're putting that in still. And as they put that in, actually, there's no axis here, so we're actually going to put the chute over the top of the block and then put it into the wheelbarrows below there. Okay, so make sure we're putting that in there. Now I'm going to, I think he adds the wall builder in there now. And he's also adding, I think this is the wall builder in here. Okay. So they add that in. And they put the wall builder inside the truck, and we'll just they're applying the wall builder in there. Wall builder is going to go in the truck. There you go. And as that goes in there, they'll mix it up. 72 revs. I'm going to take this right through here so you can get right to the wall building. That's what you want to do. So there they're putting that in. I'm going to have them mix that 72 revolutions, and there's the pond already. The concrete to be put inside that thing. And so let's go to the wall. That's really what we're interested in, is the wall. We want to figure out how we do the wall. So as they're getting ready to put the concrete in there, we're going to put it in the wheelbarrows. I wet everything down so you don't have so much concrete sticking to the wheelbarrows. And we put everything down, and we're going to wheelbarrow that now. And you can see as the concrete comes out, you can see it's just about perfect. You can kind of feel it. That's about, right there is about a 2.5 inch slump, maybe even a drier than that, but it's coming out there. It's going to sit. That's going to stack really nice. Once that stuff starts to set up in the ground. It's cool. I would say it's in the 60s here, so it's not gonna. It's gonna take a little longer to set up. You can see everybody's wearing jackets. I think it was 50s, maybe closer to 50s, and so it's kind of cold there. It might even be. And Vegas at that time of the year it was like I think it was 40s, 50s. So we're closer to 50s maybe. As you can see, everybody's kind of bundled up. So yeah, I think it was 50s, but we'll see. Now we're here in New Hampshire, so we think. That's kind of balmy actually. So there's the concrete, and they're going to throw it inside the thing. But I want to get to the point where they put it in the wall. Here's where it's important. So I'll tell you what I'll do. I will stop and I'll take you in the video, and let's watch them put this wall in. So we're putting water in that because it was a little bit too dry. So we're hydrating. Now if you have a temperature, you get into 70, 80, 90 degrees, you want to keep, adding 2-3 gallons to it to keep it consistent. If you don't, it'll set up on you and then won't come out of the truck no more. Yeah. Okay, so
you can add retarder at the plant too. The concrete company can put retarder in it for you. They'll ask you how much time you need. And that's really crucial on a 80, 90 degree day. That can save you from losing disaster. It saves me a lot of time. Disaster too.
As you can see, the wall is building right now. What I mean by building, we're stacking. You stack to the back side as well as to the front side. Now this is a small wall. It's only, maybe a foot, maybe 18 inches. So what happens is, you can see it's kind of dry. So as I was saying earlier, we want to kind of hydrate it, keep it hydrated. And you can see that we're just kind of chopping into it. and stacking it. Man, when you stack that dry, that small, it's no big deal. Now Gabriel is, you can see with his hands there, what he does, he puts the wall finish on there, slaps it on there, and then he kind of compresses the concrete. See there, he puts that on there. And then he uses his hand, he squares the edges. Now you can do it with a trowel, but he does it with his hands. And he's going to square up that wall so he can make a nice, beautiful, see how he kind of squares that off? And that's what he's doing. He's just squaring, he's moving it around, make sure it's nice and pliable. And how does he do it? He levels it off as he goes. Almost uses the level as a screed. And he just does that, and look at it does. It just makes a beautiful top. And once the top is nice and square, you can cut down the side. That's the thing. You always got to make the top first. You always level the top and make it one. Now there it is. After he already started cutting it, you can texture it too also. But he's already cut right into that. You can texture before and then cut into it. He does that a lot. I like to just I like to cut the in and out, but he's doing pretty good on that. So let's watch him do this. You can see there I'm cutting the inside there, and you can see the other rocks coming out. So I go in and out, and that's what I'm doing here. I'm cutting, and it's getting a little hard, but it's not bad. So that's where we're cutting the corners there. See, I'm going in, and you can have one in and then one out. And here I'm going to make the inside rock there, cut to it. And I don't want to make a line all the way straight down. It's not good to do that in masonry, so it's kind of offset a little bit. And so at the top, it just kind of goes off a little different. You see the different rocks there, and there I'm doing a shelf there and cutting into it. And I like to put the trowel nice and deep, nice and deep. Now here, Gabriel's continued to bring in the wall and squaring it off, and that thing's about, gosh, I would say 10 inches to a foot thick, which is nice. 10 inches to a foot thick is a good amount. It really gets you a good, nice, thick-looking wall. You can make a bench out of it. You can do a lot of things with it. And there we cut the top, and notice you don't make a line across. There we made like Y's and different cuts on there, and it gives you that really cool effect. Look how we did that with the in and out rock. What a great finish it looks like. And that's how you want to stack, and that's how you want to cut this simple wall. There we put a little tree stump in there. You can see that wall's ready to cut. So he did the same thing. I cut it on the other side, and now he's starting to cut it. Look, it does that. It takes that trowel nice and deep in there. And here we are again. He already has texture on it. He kind of textured it. And now he's cutting into the wall, nice and deep. So he's cutting up underneath it to give that in and out. So you look like the rock looks in, the other one's coming out. And man, what a great effect that looks, that does when you do that. Look at that. Yeah, that's a great effect. And then he's going to cut in between there to give that separation from the log looking thing that we built there, with rollers and stuff. We're not showing that, but we're showing how this wall is built. And look at that. The pattern doesn't repeat all the time. It kind of goes up and down a little bit, but he'll make a different wall to separate it and make it look a little bit different. As he carves into it, look how he does. He cuts one completely back, and the other one's out, and so the rock looks like it was, when you do a rock wall, one's in, one's out. It's very uneven sometimes. You can get a rock wall where it's even, but this you don't have to. This is actually pretty nice, and it gives that realism, and that's what we want. We're trying to achieve realism in this whole thing. And there you are. They're already texturing the carved boulder that we did. You can see the cuts and everything that we did on the boulder. Or you go into a plastic bag, and you notice with a plastic bag, the hands are outside, not inside the bag. That way the two kind of move together, and it kind of draws the cream out of the concrete. It's pretty amazing how that works. So you can take just any kind of glad trash bag and do the same exact thing. And you can see they're getting some really nice cuts on there, and that is what we're trying to achieve with this, and it looks really nice. But I'll tell you what, in no time, this thing is completed.